Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva Manusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavatveshini. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Arjuna. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters. O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. Having learnt from Sri Krishna about the Sannyasa Yoga, that what is meant by actual renunciation, not running away from the work, not making an excuse of not doing the work under some pretext, under some garb. Okay, I am not going to do it. That is not the sannyasa, that is not renunciation. And Sri Krishna explained to us the real renunciation comes when we give up the attachment with the work that we are doing. Whichever work has come to our lot, that we have to do as the God-sent opportunity of Sarva Bhuta Hite Rata, doing good for the welfare of all the beings. That should be the attitude, and let us constantly keep on getting engaged in some work, not running away from work, saying I am leaving everything aside and I am going to the forest. That is not sannyasa. Rather, give up the attachment to the work. Don't have an eye on the fruit of the action. And to get this particular attitude, to get this stage in one's spiritual journey, what one needs to do? No desires, no anger, no fear. Time and again Sri Krishna has taught us. And after following these footsteps, we get into the stage of karma sannyasa. While doing the work, while very much we can remain so much busy. We feel as if 24 hours a day are so less. In spite of that busyness, we are not working. So that's what Sri Krishna had taught us. And in this now that we will be starting reading from the 6th adhyaya, Dhyana Yoga, the yoga of meditation. Now Sri Krishna, in all these adhyayas that he has taught us so far, whether it was Sankhya Yoga, Karma Yoga, Karma Sannyasa Yoga, Sannyasa Yoga, now he is teaching us the meditative aspect of the work, not giving up the work. He doesn't say give up the work and just sit with closed eyes and start meditating upon your chosen ideal. No. So here in this 6th adhyaya, and for that matter, Sri Krishna already has given us some hint. You see, this is one peculiarity of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, of Sri Krishna's teaching, that the transition from one yoga to another is so smooth. we don't feel that we are getting into a, totally new subject. These are all interrelated. These are all interconnected. From Sankhya to Karma to Sannyasa, and now we are coming on to the meditation. To the we also had in between Jnana Karma Sannyasa, that getting the knowledge through doing work and then renouncing and then Sannyasa Yoga. And now we are on to Dhyana Yoga. So all these chapters one by one, they have got such a beautiful transition. They're all interconnected for that matter. And everything surrounds karma. Not running away from karma, but doing the karma, performing the action, performing the duty that has come to our lot. Not running away from the duty under the garb of avoiding the work, posing that I am taking sannyasa, posing that I am renouncing all the work. That is not the right spirit. That is not the swadharma. That's what Sri Krishna time and again tells. And now here in this sixth shloka, he is bringing this particular point, that even through doing work, a person, a spiritual aspirant, can meditate. That itself is the meditation. Like Sri Krishna said, doing work itself is renunciation. So here he is going to tell us doing work itself is dhyana, is meditation. Sri Bhagavad uvācha anāśhritaḥ karma-phalaṁ kāryaṁ karma karoti yah sa sannyāsī cha yogī cha na niragnir na chākriyaḥ na chākriyaḥ. Sri Krishna says, Bhagavad uvācha, Sri Bhagavad uvācha, the blessed Lord said. Now Krishna is continuing his teachings from the fifth adhyaya of Sannyasa Yoga. Now here this is in this Dhyana Yoga, Sri Krishna starts this Dhyana Yoga, the yoga of meditation, with the first verse that we are going to read today. Anāśhritaḥ. Anāśhritaḥ is not depending on. He is not depending on what? Karma-phalaṁ. He is not depending on karma-phala, the fruit of action. Not depending on the fruits of the action. Kāryaṁ karma karoti yah. One who keeps on doing work. One who keeps on performing whatever duty has come to his lot. Sa sannyāsī cha yogī cha. That person who not depending on, not eyeing for the fruit of the action, doing action for the sake of action's sake. This is my duty, I am doing it. I am not worried, I am not keen, I am not desirous of any fruit of this action. This is the Lord's work as an instrument in the hands of Lord. Lord is getting this work done through me. I don't have any right over the fruit of the action. So why should I eye for the fruit of action? Why should I depend on the fruit of action? One who does the work in this manner. Kāryaṁ karma karoti yah. One who performs action in this spirit. Not depending on the fruits of action. Sa sannyāsī cha yogī cha. He is a real sannyasi. He is the real yogi. Cha na niragnir chākriyaḥ. And not. And he is not a sannyasi. He is not a yogi who niragnihi, who is without the sacred fire. And chākriyaḥ, without performance of any duty. Without performance of any rites. Now, Sri Krishna says here, talks about lighting the fire. Now, in the olden days, when Actually, the system of the sacrifices and all these things were done. Fire was considered to be extremely holy aspect, because with fire only you could create that homa, that yajna, and in that fire was the ultimate for performing any sacrifice. So in that fire, then the sacrificier used to give oblations of rice, of puffed rice, of oil, of all those samidhas and the firewood. All those used to be the oblations, the ghee, those used to be the oblations which were offered to a certain deity through that fire. And the concept those days was, through the fire, whatever is offered as oblation, it reaches the desired deity for that yajna, for that sacrifice. And therefore Sri Krishna says, suppose somebody does not lit a fire, that doesn't mean he is a sannyasi, because ordinarily all people, they were supposed to keep a fire lighted anytime there may be need of performing a yajna, performing a sacrifice. So the fire was the most important thing to be made available, to be kept available at all the times. If fire is not there, no sacrificial act can be performed, because there is no homa then. And a kriya, no rites even. The sacrificial, I mean the spiritual rites, so called, the scriptural rites as per the scriptural injunctions. You have to do this puja, you have to do that puja, or some other activities like doing certain obligatory duties which one is supposed to do, as prescribed by the scriptures, as prescribed by the scriptural injunctions, the sandhya, karma, gayatri, I mean mantra japa, and all those things. These are the sacrifice, I mean the scriptural rites. So Sri Krishna says it is not that one who has not lit fire, it is not that one who is not doing any of these rites, he is a sannyasi. Because traditionally, it is only the all renouncing sannyasis who were supposed to uh, be away from all these kind of the activities as per scriptural injunctions. Sannyasis, they have no bindings with this worldly life, and normally all the sacrificial acts, the yajnas and other rites, they were done with certain motive in mind. Even today, we perform puja with certain motive in mind. We go to temple. Why we go to temple? Is it that we go to temple just because we are so much devoted to the Lord, to that deity, to that image in that temple? No. Most of the times we visit temple with certain demand to the God. Whenever we are in temple, whenever we offer our prayers are to get something in return. We make it a business, frankly speaking. Do we go to the temple just to pray to the God, give me devotion? Give me devotion to your lotus feet. Give me faith. Give me love for your lotus feet. But rather, most of the time that people go to temples, people go to any place of worship. Why only temple? I mean, any place of worship. Their intention is to seek something in return from the God. And here Sri Krishna says that if somebody has not lit fire, if somebody is not performing any activities or kriya as per the scriptural injunctions, don't consider that person to be sannyasi. No, he may not be a sannyasi at all. He is not doing fine. He is a lazy bum. He is absolutely lethargic fellow. That's why he is not doing anything. That doesn't mean he is a sannyasi, but the real sannyasi is he who getting rid of the desire for fruits of action, is performing all the works that has come to his lot, not sitting idle and doing nothing and just avoiding the work on the pretext of I am a sannyasi. No, that these people can never be sannyasi like that. The blessed Lord said, he who discharges his duty without seeking its fruit, he is indeed a sannyasi. He is the yogi, and not one who is without sacred fire or without performing any rites, without performing any actions for that matter. People in general have a misconception about sannyasa. Yes, that's what we normally we have an understanding, isn't it? The moment we think of a sannyasi, he has to be a kind of ochre robes clad, the gerua cloth and all that, and not doing any work for that matter, just sitting under a tree. And some sannyasis may not be even ochre robe, just a lion cloth, or maybe even not that, because that body consciousness has gone. And our expectation of sannyasis is like that. Our definition of sannyasis is like that. But that is the misconception. That is the misconception as per the teachings of Sri Krishna. That the sannyasi should not shoulder any responsibility and that he should be a lazy fellow is the prevalent notion. Lazy fellow in a sense, not performing any activity as such. That is what we understand. The moment we talk of sannyasi, the picture comes in mind somebody sitting in a cave in the forest, all alone, just doing nothing, chanting the name of the Lord. Whenever time comes, permits, he will go and eat something, and that kind of person with full beard and all the hair is got into all those mats and that kind of person. But Sri Krishna says that is not the real meaning of a sannyasi. Now, lighting fire is a symbol of performing yajna. Without fire, there cannot be. And that's why in the ancient days, fire was so important. Fire was so revered. The Agni Devata, fire used to be called as one of the, deities. The general wrong belief is that the sannyasi is not to do any altruistic work. Sannyasi is not supposed to perform any homa, for that matter. But that doesn't happen. Arjuna's plea that he would not engage himself in the impending war and that he would beat a retreat and leave on holy arms is an example of this wrong idea. Arjuna had told him, I will give you the world. Arjuna had told Sri Krishna, I don't want to fight. And he had slumped in that, chariot. He had just fallen down on the footboard of the chariot. Bow gone, arrows gone, and I am not going to fight. And what Arjuna had told him, rather, I will take sannyasa, I will leave the world, and I will start living, gathering holy alms, rather than fighting this war, rather than killing my own people, rather than bringing in anarchy and the wrong, unethical norms getting prevailed in the society because of the destruction, because of killing all these Kauravas that I'm going to cause. So I don't want to be part of this war. I am just God. I am not going to fight. Now that was the pretext that Arjuna had taken when he had got into that state of despondency in the first adhyaya of Arjuna Vishad Yoga. And Krishna had told him from where he has this unmanliness come upon you, oh my dear friend. Get up. And Sri Krishna started teaching Arjuna what is the meaning of work. And then came the knowledge aspect, then came the karma aspect, then came the jnana karma sannyasa aspect, sannyasa aspect, and now Sri Krishna here teaching this particular in this adhyaya. What is actually meditation by doing the work, not by running away. No person should ever discard action. So what Sri Krishna says here, akriyaḥ. One should never get into that kind of a situation that I don't want to do any work. I don't want to keep any lighted fire with me because I don't want to do any yajna. Now, lighted fire, possibly it could be a symbolic thing. It is one of the resources which is required to perform the sacrificial act as such, the yajna. Now, this fire that Sri Krishna is referring to could be a symbolic. All of us, we have our resources always available with us. The resources that Sri Krishna taught us in the Sannyasa Yoga also. The body, mind, and the sense organs, and the intellect. The body in the form, the sense organs in the form of body, the mind, and the intellect. Possibly, I mean, okay, these could be the expression expressed as the fire for sacrificial act, the resources that are available for conducting any activity. Possibly my understanding of this word fire here, although in the olden days fire was a must, every household had to have a fire lighted. So if that is requirement in the household, maybe from our bodily perspective of doing the karma, after all, we are doing the karma with these resources. So these could be the fire expressed by Sri Krishna in terms of uh, the agni, niragnir, nacha akriyaḥ. So Krishna says it is not that person who is termed as sannyas, who should be called as sannyasi, not the one who doesn't have those resources of starting yajna any moment, not that person who is just sitting idle without doing any activity. He is not a sannyasi. Among the doers of duty, he is a sannyasi, he is a yogi who discharges duty for duty's sake and is no way attached to the fruits of his action. He doesn't do duty with the understanding of I am the doer. He does his duty with full understanding I am an instrument in the hands of the Lord and I am asked to do this thing. I will do it most sincerely. I will do it wholeheartedly. I will do it most honestly as I can. Because, and with these resources available with me, my body, my mind, my intellect, these are all I am offering in performing the duty given to me by the Lord. Because of the renunciation of attachment to work and its effect, he is a sannyasi, and because of he is doing the duty very efficiently, he is a karma yogi. He is not a sannyasi because he has escaped from doing the work. He is not a sannyasi because he has avoided doing the work. Rather, he is a sannyasi. Very much performing the work. He getting fully involved in the work. He is fully involved in the work, but without attachment. He is fully involved. He is dedicatedly doing that work, but with no eye on the fruit of the action. So, and he verily he is a karma yogi because since he is doing the Lord's work, his work becomes so efficient. If he is doing it for himself, there are chances that he will he will do some gadbad. If he is working for himself, he is bound to create some problems while doing that work. But when it is God's work, it is to the fullest efficiency, and therefore that person, that person who is doing the work in that spirit of an offering to the Lord, he is a true karma yogi. He is a true sannyasi. In fact, a karma yogi is a sannyasi. So that is what Sri Krishna teaches us in this first shlok of the Dhyana Yoga itself. How critical it is performing the actions without giving any focus on the fruits of the action. What the action is going to bring to me, that is different matter. That is God's, it is His agenda. Why should I worry about it? So, anāśhrita anāśhritaḥ karma-phalaṁ kāryaṁ karma karoti yaha. Let us keep on doing the work that has come to our Lord without having any focus, without having any eye upon the fruit of action, and not by avoiding the work. Simple message in this first shloka of the Dhyana Yoga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Swamiji.